We are going to the German city of Kuerstein. It was mentioned for the first time in literature in 1232. It was strategically located on the rivers Oder and Wade, and over the centuries it has seen a lot of war and battle. Over time, large forts were constructed on this location for its defense. The most notable in living memory was the site of one of the fiercest battles of the Second World War, one that nearly saw the destruction of the city, if not actually. This I will show you in a later episode. Today, we're going to the remains of one amazing post-Franco Prussian War era fort, one of the most fantastic places I've ever seen, the Fort of Sandorf, one of 4 artillery forts constructed between 1883 and 89 surrounding the city. It was built by the Prussians, and armed with 3 cm steel plate at the firing positions, it was, ipso facto, the first armored fort. It was an artillery fort, but the construction is simply breathtaking, despite the serious destruction at the hands of the Russians after the Second World War. It was one of the last Biele forts ever built. This referred to as a unit fort, schema fort. The design name was after a Prussian fortification dating back to Hans Alexis von Biele. It was based on a basic form fortress known as a lunette, 2 front and 2 flank walls. This was used since the 17th century and replaced the new Prussian bastion systems in Germany. Between 1870 and 1890, over 70 of these were built, standardized fortifications, though even back then the Germans had a variation of Regelbauten, although this was built by 28 million double fire bricks, and before World War I, upgraded with cement. These were detached belt forts, outer forts, embedded deeper in the surrounding terrain and extending over a significantly greater width. The fortification belts were significantly expanded to accommodate modern artillery and the protection from rifled guns. The fort of the new system combined ranged weapons and handguns in a new way, and to cross into the fort through the trench, you would have to do it while covered by defensive fire, while you would be defending against an enemy that could only inadequately counteract with his own field batteries. But because of the greater distance to the city, they were usually connected by the means of a fortress railway. This fort is 2 kilometers from Kuerstein. The Prussian schematic forts were built in large numbers in the German Reich from 1873. However, due to the explosive shell crisis in 1880, all forts were suddenly considered militarily inadequate, so that they had to be massively rebuilt already from the 1890s. But many were obsolete even before they were complete, and upgrades could never significantly mend this problem. Initially, in 1876, 8 outer forts were planned, but only 4 were built. It was equipped with 24 artillery guns. Its crew consisted of 600 soldiers, including infantry company, artillerymen, sappers, auxiliary services. It had 2 embankments, the higher and the central part of the fort, intended for artillery, and the lower one, intended for rifle shooters. It was surrounded by a dry moat, 6.5 meters deep, 10.6 meters wide, and 1,082 meters long. However, as it was mostly constructed in brick, it was incapable of surviving modern artillery, even of the standards of the late 1800s, so concrete was poured over the most important vaults already in 1889 to 90. However, by the time of World War I, the fort was obsolete, and during the First World War, it was used as a prisoner of war camp, with one notable person, the later Soviet Marshal Mikhail Tukhachevsky. During the Second World War, the fort was used for a munition production factory, and sadly some of these remaining munitions were later blown up by the Russians after the war. However, this somehow made it more impressive to visit today. This is an interesting design. It rounds the other way that way to straighten up and then circle behind you. I think there was a passage over here. Of course, none of this was reinforced, but large chunks rubble, cement. And look at how good this looks. These bricks look like they were laid a week ago, except for the large explosive hole in the middle. I mean, this brickwork looked like it was built in a house a week ago. These bricks look brand new, except for the shell crater sitting up on the corner. This wall is absolutely amazing, and these were specifically made for tunneling. If you were surrounded, you could tunnel through here and in under your enemy and blow them up. I wonder if this surrounds the entire area. This is something I did not know. So this was a prison for French prisoners during World War I. Maybe that was lighting. And of course it was shelled somewhat and blown up during the Second World War. At the end, destroyed to what we see today. This is just an amazing place. And of course, there's a tunnel in the wall. This enormous wall just continues around. So does the mosquitoes in a number I have not ever seen before. Wow, this is bug heaven. Wow. This is really something else. So we're starting by circling the fort on the outside. So we're walking in the ditch, which was a rather large ditch. World War I, there was no fighting here, only prisoners. How's a poor dog being eaten by mosquitoes like the rest of us? Wow! I mean, this just keeps going. All buildings are mirror images of each other. However, in contrast to earlier unit forts, it has the special feature of the double wall sections inside the fort. The barracks for accommodations of teams were built below the gun positions, and the sanitary facilities were moved to the middle wall. The powder magazines were also arranged on the side near the upper wall, and not in the main postern, as earlier unit forts. So bathrooms. This looked clear out into the ditch. Ventilation, firing port. This is a beautiful place. What's left of the caponiers here. Wow. Jesus. The book situation here is absolutely unreal. The caponier was destroyed. Anchor point is still there for the guns.
can't believe this is this old. There are mounts on the walls, but not for weaponry, because they're not outside the firing ports. Yes. Even the staircase is gorgeous. Come here often? There. This is as straight as anything has ever been made. What a gorgeous place. It's a man and a dog. Hi, dog. The staircase is the straightest thing. In good shape too. Drain. More stairs. And now we're inside the actual fort, with the ditch on the outside. When they built the ditch this big all around the fort, you see why the Prussians were the warriors of the day. They did not spare any expenses. And you have another rampart here. This is almost a covered way down here. This ditch really is something. Son of a ditch. Never seen a ditch like this. You can tunnel out of it in any direction. And I see we are going up here. Yay. Wow. So this is the center of the fort. It almost looks like it's been reinforced a little bit on top. There used to be a staircase. There is a staircase here. Yes, into the inner. This staircase looked like this is the cleanest. Damn, this looks good. We'll get to the staircase. This is just amazing. This fort looks so clean. I would imagine, crew magazine where the soldiers would be going to come out here on the ramparts and fight. You could also have, being an artillery fort, now you see the mounds that would hide the guns. This could be an artillery position. And there's the main fort down here. What an amazing place. What is truly amazing is it looks like it was built yesterday, parts of it. Can't believe the Russians blew this up. Obviously it had nothing to do with World War II. I've never seen anything that old look this new. Wow. So there's probably always a walkway from here up to the fighting compartments up here, or the artillery positions up here, the ramparts up there. So you'd be able to move cannons from here and up on the wall or overlooking the ditch. I don't even know where to start. Oh shit, there's the other side. So this was the Kaserne. It must have been. And then this walkway here leads down to the front. Nope. Yes. No, this doesn't lead anywhere. There's probably, oh, there's a metal in the wall here. Pipes. Looks like plumbing. I don't know what to say about this place. This is really... I mean, what do you say about something like this? I don't want ever anybody to use the word again, just an artillery fort. This, I want to know who built it, I want to know how much they paid for it, and I want whoever built this staircase 300 years ago to build me every staircase I will ever have to walk again. This is straighter than I've seen new staircases. Holy shit. And it just keeps going up. And up and up. And up and up. And here's the out. Here's the second floor. I'm on the second floor of something that may or may not collapse on me, but right now I don't care. Holy shit. And here the staircase continues up to where I was. But I should make sure, shouldn't I? Because it doesn't. Well, it does. So here was, you can see a powder room maybe here. And here's the upstairs where the soldiers would come out. The end of the staircase. Say what you will, but seeing this makes me just a little proud of my Prussian heritage. Just a little. This is a castle. Look at this. How can you blow this up? This was already obsolete by the time it had been built, by the time it was finished. And when the Franco Prussian War rolled around, there was nothing going on here. So the only sin it ever committed was being blown up after the war. I keep coming back to that because it keeps bothering the living crap out of me. And seriously, people who thinks putting up graffiti on a place, on walls like this, don't let me catch you. I'm just saying, seriously. I will hurt you. This is just, you cannot have the lack of respect for history but to put graffiti on this. Which you certainly shouldn't. And then there's another walkway up to the other end of the room up there. And you see in the roof there's electrical attachments, and this was built in this hole. imagine powder magazines. Yes, I was right. This was the powder magazine. See the little windows in the back? Even back in the 18th century, that's how they did it. All the way up to World War I, just like this. So you'd have the walkway around here, behind. You go behind the powder magazine, and you light it up from here. How many walkways, just like this, have I not walked in castles and forts, with hundreds of years in between? Oh, there's even a little bridge up here to where you place the lamp through the little window, so there's no way the fire or spark from the lamp could get in touch with the powder. And I'm imagining this is a ventilation. You wouldn't be transporting. It'd be a hatch. That is a little different than what I've seen before. Another tunnel. This is so clean. Here will be the next powder magazine, I'm guessing. Interesting. Our construction detail, we see World War II tunnels, don't we? This is absolutely amazing. It is so clean. Alrighty. That's interesting. This is interesting. I think this is part of the French prison. Maybe. Holy shit, something moved. Bathroom. I think this looks like a World War I modification. Urinals. Could be wrong. That wall I don't understand. This is what happened? What is this?
Pulvermagazin, yeah.
But this is bricked up.
No,
Oh yeah, I've been through that. That looks.
Ammunition. This is small chambers.
This is awesome. But what is this?
Yeah.
This is newer.
Yeah.
Did you think this was part of the prison?
No.
I mean, even newer than that.
Yeah, they close it. They also have horses here inside, no?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. That sort of explains trough. That explains that. Canal, I guess. This could be for the horses. I could see that. Yeah, this is a recent brick up. I just don't know why. And you have what I was looking at here. This could be where they kept the horses. But that means this breakup is a World War I edition. This looks newer. I'm assuming the Russians didn't use this place. Very interesting. I want this. I want to take it home. Stay. So they closed this up. I guess this could have been, again, guessing, part of the prison. Yes, it's hard to tell. What the plan was. There's the walls that they put up. So this room was essentially closed off to some degree. Stables. Maybe. A lot of cement on these. This is... bars. I think this must have had something to do with a World War I redesignation. Wow. Holy... What do you... Ooh. I don't know what to say. Holy shit. Holy shit. This place must have been amazing. And he's moving onto the tunnel. And I'm not even done with the living room yet. Look at this place. Jesus, I mean... windows of their ventilation. This is grand in an amazing way. Look at this.
I'm waiting here.
Okay, yeah.
And vorsichtig sein, ne?
Yeah. So... It could be crew shelter, but this massive hole, I don't understand. This oval, which also is up there. This could be a place for the cannons to have been moved up. If you could get them out of here, which you can't. There is a building above us here, but from here there's no way to get out there. This could have been the coal cellar, except it's not in the cellar, it's on the first floor, but it could have been the coal cellar. We'll coal down the chutes. I'm completely guessing here because I have nothing to go by. See a pair of dog eyes looking at me. I can see eyes. You know, when I see this, it makes me kind of proud to be of Prussian heritage. If only I could build something like this.
So here's a nice detail. The gun position, Panzer
yes.
plate, and you can pull the Panzer plate with a chain back.
We do the same thing in World War II, in Maginot Line. We almost do the same thing today in the same way.
You see the Panzer plate?
It's still there.
Yeah.
Holy, it is still there. Oh wow. This is exactly like you would see the forts built before World War I, before World War II, and the little pulley. Wow. I mean, this is a castle and a fort in the same. It's just amazing.
Every gun position has the same mechanism.
More chains, more plates, and they're still there. Wow. See how, and this is the ditch in the back, or are we in the front? We're in the back. We're towards the fighting front.
Yeah, this is the fighting side.
Is it the caponier we're in? It is, isn't it? Oh wow. Shit, this is so impressive. And even for the ventilation. This is so impressive. This is so insanely impressive. Fighting positions. I don't know why there were steps. Maybe to reach up and open and shut the ventilation, possibly.
Thus, the trench caponier received an additional rifleman's gallery in order to be able to paint the flanks of the caponier better, The fort ceiling was reinforced with approximately 1.5 meter tampered concrete, and the powder magazines were provided with an additional 5 meters thick layer of earth.
Ooh. And as we are in the very outside room, this is the bathrooms. Still a fighting bathroom. Bathroom nonetheless. Nonetheless. From the outside. Can you believe this? And of course, you're firing into these if anybody actually got in here. So this is inside the ditch with the wall with the firing positions in front of a smaller ditch. The only thing that made this fort obsolete was new munitions that it wouldn't stand up to. And that is a damn shame, because this would have been a place to deal with. It is a caponier. Hi, Bobo. With another ditch inside the ditch.
Had it not been for the exceptional number of mosquitoes that currently occupies the place, it would have been an amazing place to visit. I will be coming back in the winter. Sadly, this time they were picking more on the poor puppy than on me. There's electrical on the walls, also upstairs. See all these mounts? The stairs is come down, so we're not going up there. You're just going to take my word for it. And of course we have whatever we have here. This is gorgeous. It's the strangest things we can find beauty in, but you see the shrapnel for when this was destroyed on the inside here. Sadly, this will never be rebuilt. Bricks. Look at this brick here. This is not a brick. Well, it is. I mean, we're never gonna see anything like this again. We couldn't build this today if we wanted to. We couldn't get the permits. Yes, I said that with some disdain. I mean,
But if you look at this, and you look at the Mechelin line forts, or the forts of the Franco Prussian wars, the World War I forts, both the Germans and the French. This is the skeletons. The design and the layout is the same. This is how you can really see how we evolved from the castles with the bows and the arrows, and the castles with the cannons and the gunpowder and gunpowder storage, and how that had to be kept safe, and how evolutions and innovations of castles slowly changed the layout and designs of a castle, and then it turned into a fortress, and then it turned into a bunker or fortified position. But you have to have the same components for the past almost 1,000 years. Look at this. This is probably one of my favorite places I've ever been, just in case next time you guys ask me. Now I have an answer. See all the shrapnel in the brick here when this was destroyed. Well, it's still on a day with horse-drawn artillery, where the cannons would be living in here with the horses, pulled out through, up the ramp here we're sitting on, up to the ramparts.
Here are many similarities to some of the forts we've seen in France and Germany around Metz, but this one is truly stunning due to the way it's been constructed and destructed. However, I will be looking forward to returning here in the winter and getting a clear overview of what's actually left, and with a lot fewer mosquitoes. More to come. Behind me is Wernher von Braun's first test stand. Down the road is Diebner's nuclear reactor. Over there is the Maginot Line and all its amazing forts. I'm visiting them all and I'm bringing them to you. So I really appreciate you like, follow, and share what I'm doing, trying to document all these important historical locations. And if you feel like you want to watch more pictures or documents that I use for these, go to lostbattlefields.com. And if you feel like helping me out with my travels, because gasoline and travel and airfare is expensive, my PayPal is there, protectionserviceint.com. You are more than welcome, but you don't have to. I appreciate all your support and all your help, and I love seeing these locations, and I love bringing them to you.